So last week we left off with Tulsidas and his reminiscences of Koka Maharaj. One day, when some of us devotees were walking with Koka Maharaj, he said, "See how dependent I have become. I can't walk even a single step without a stick. But what strength of mind I had when I was wandering in the Himalayas. I didn't fear anything. While climbing down mountains, I would do so running. I would climb very steep hills, even if the only foothold I could get was as small as my big toe. The thought of what would happen if I slipped never entered my mind." In his youth, when he was wandering, Koka Maharaj walked all the way from Calcutta to Vindhyachal, to the Vindhyachal Mountains in South India. His heart was then aflame with the spirit of renunciation. He would spend his nights under trees and wouldn't stay in anybody's home, even when invited. When he was staying in Kotar, Orissa, he once visited a Kotareshwari temple in a jungle. While he was sitting inside the temple doing japa, he saw two big cobras heading towards him. He did not feel the least frightened and continued performing japa. He thought, "My life has to end someday. It might as well end in this temple." The snakes approached Maharaj from both sides and, coming near him, lifted their hoods and remained in that posture for some time. After that, they quietly left. It was at this temple that the Divine Mother appeared before Maharaj in the form of an old woman. Narrating the experience, he told us, "While I was sitting and performing japa, an old woman, old enough to be my grandmother, appeared and asked me, 'Why have you come here?' 'I have come because you have brought me here,' I replied, adding, 'Now that you have brought me here, please fan me a little.' At this, the old lady began to fan me and said, 'Offer me betel leaf tomorrow.' The next day, Koka Maharaj offered betel leaf to the goddess. Koka Maharaj often told us that if one had devotion and faith in God, he would take one's responsibility. Once, when Maharaj was practicing austerities in Haridwar, the following incident occurred. Maharaj had been suffering from fever for 2 months. He was so weak that he could not lift his water pot to pour water in his mouth. One night, when he went near the water pot to quench his thirst, he fell down on the floor. He felt piqued at the master and thought, "Did the master bring me here to undergo such suffering?" While thinking thus, he fell asleep. Then he saw the master stroking his body with his hand. The master said to him, "You rascal, don't you have any faith? Can I leave you even for a moment? I am always with you. Tomorrow someone will come to serve you." At this, Koka Maharaj said, No, I don't want anything. I only want to have unshakable faith in you." The next day, a brahmachari came to serve him. His name was Tinkuri. He was from a village near Shantipur. He had gone to the Himalayas to practice austerities. He said to Koka Maharaj, "Maharaj, the Divine Mother appeared before me in a dream and told me that you were staying here and asked me to serve you." But Koka Maharaj didn't let him stay. He said, "No, I don't need anyone. It will be as the mother ordains." Tinkuri reluctantly left. But that night, the master appeared to Koka Maharaj in a dream and said to him, "Why didn't you let Tinkuri serve you? He will come again. Let him stay this time." Tinkuri again came at 2 a.m. and said to Koka Maharaj, "Maharaj, I can't sleep. Someone starts pushing me when I try to sleep. Please let me stay with you." But Koka Maharaj didn't relent easily. He said to Tinkuri, "How can you prove that the Divine Mother has sent you?" "How else would I have been able to find you?" Tinkuri replied. "I didn't even know who you were, let alone that you were lying ill here. Please believe me." Saying this, he caught hold of Maharaj's feet and started crying. Koka Maharaj finally allowed him to stay. Once, when Koka Maharaj was traveling in South India on foot, he thought, Today I won't beg my food. Let me see whether the master himself provides my meal. He sat under a tree a few miles from a village. After some time, someone came with a basket full of food and asked him, Maharaj, have you taken your meal? When Maharaj said no, the stranger, keeping the basket in front of him, said, I have brought this food for you. Maharaj then ate some of the food and distributed the rest among some cowherd boys who were grazing their cows nearby. Koka Maharaj could realize a person's nature at first glance. When he was staying in Narayanganj at a devotee's house, somebody came to meet him. After speaking only a few words to him, Maharaj politely asked him to leave. Afterwards, he said to a devotee about the visitor, that man looked like a thief. The devotee knew that the man was a thief and expressed surprise that Koka Maharaj could realize his nature just by meeting him once. They also told him that the man was in the habit of gaining the confidence of strangers with sweet talk and then stealing their money and valuables. One day, Koka Maharaj told me about a conversation he had had with the master. Once I was alone with the master in his room at the Kasipur garden house. I said to him, I won't be able to do things like breathing in such and such a fashion, sitting in such and such a posture, or even japa and meditation. Please do something so that I may realize spiritual truths quickly. At this, the master laughed and said, You won't have to do any of those things. Just remember God in the morning and evening. That also may be difficult for me, I said. If I could do all that, why would I have come to you? To me, you don't seem to be separate from God. The master laughed again and said to me, patting me on my back, You will surely realize God. Later, so many people will receive guidance from you. Koka Maharaj's handwriting was not good. Once in Dakshineshwar, the master asked him to write down a song. Koka Maharaj wrote it down, but his handwriting was so bad that the master scolded him severely. But the master found him laughing in spite of the scolding. He said to Maharaj, I have scolded you and you are laughing? Even your scolding sounds sweet to me, Maharaj replied. Hearing this reply, the master embraced Maharaj affectionately. Maharaj returned to Purulia from Deoghar on 3rd February 1919. On the same day, one of my friends had criticized the master in fun, for which I had scolded him in very rude language. Afterwards, I felt bad about this and asked Koka Maharaj whether I should ask forgiveness for my behavior. In reply, Maharaj said, He said something improper and you scolded him. So what is there to feel bad about in this small incident? Then he instructed me as to how I should act in similar circumstances, and also told me the following incident, which happened in Almora. Lala Badri Sa of Almora was a great devotee of Swamiji. Swamiji had even stayed in his house for some days after returning from America. Some local Brahmins grew very annoyed at this, and in order to humiliate Lala Badri Sa and insult Swamiji, they invited Badri Sa to see a play. Badri Sa didn't suspect anything and went to see the play. In the play, he saw that one actor had been dressed up like Swamiji, and a garland of eggshells had been put around his neck. Another person played the part of Badri Sa, and he was mocked in a similar fashion. Understanding the motive behind staging the play, Badri Sa immediately left the place with tears in his eyes. But after a few days, news came to him that of the 7 people who had organized this play, 6 had died of fever. The 7th man was then experiencing a high fever. That man went to Badri Sa and pleaded with him in a humble tone, Saji, unknowingly we have done a great wrong. Please forgive us. What do I know? Badri Sa replied. The Master knows everything. Ask him to forgive you. Once Coca Maharaj was going to Calcutta from Balermont by steamer. On the way, a few young men from Bali started criticizing Swamiji. Maharaj boldly told them, "Do you give any donations to Balermont? If so, please stop from today. What will you gain by criticizing Swamiji? Neither will your criticism make Swamiji's hands fall off, nor will your praise help him grow 2 more hands." When he heard that those young men did not help Balermont, Maharaj said, "Then why do you criticize unnecessarily? Can you appreciate the monks? You work like slaves under English officers, and you are supposed to flatter them. If you make any mistake, they will kick you out with their boots." A few days later, one of those young men came to Balermont and apologized to Coca Maharaj. "Maharaj, the other day, out of sheer ignorance, we did wrong. Your words came true, officer." Coca Maharaj's compassion knew no bounds. Once, when he was staying in Shantipur, he used very foul language while talking to Coca Maharaj. That very night, the doctor came down with a high fever. Coca Maharaj went to see him the next morning. The doctor was then lying down in his drawing room. He still had a high fever and was restless with pain. Maharaj sat beside him and began to gently stroke his forehead. When the doctor saw him, he called out to his sister and said, "Come and see who is attending upon me. These people don't know what it is to be angry. Though I behaved so rudely to Maharaj, he has come to serve me today." Maharaj once told Dr. Lahiri, "You have earned a lot of money by practicing medicine. From now on, don't take any fees from poor people. Spend the rest of your life serving the poor." The doctor followed this advice and gradually even gave up drinking. The parents of Coca Maharaj were great devotees. After Maharaj had embraced monastic life, some friends of his father asked him to try to bring back his son. At this, his father said, "Living a householder's life, we haven't been able to realize God. What is the harm if he tries to do so as a monk? He has done what is right. If he realizes God, that can be a matter of great joy." When Coca Maharaj went to meet his mother after becoming a monk, she blessed him and said, "Whatever you do, do it with all your heart and soul. Have a firm grasp on your ideal. I bless you that you may realize your goal and be happy under all circumstances." So the next section is 18, a devotee. Befitting his name, Coca Maharaj had a very childlike nature. How freely he mixed with us, and how affectionate and compassionate he was. 10 years ago, in 1932, I was seriously ill and was confined to bed in the Belga Chia Hospital from the beginning of May till mid-July. Coca Maharaj came to see me there one day. Seeing him, I began to weep and said, "Maharaj, I am finding it very difficult to stay here. I feel very uneasy and afraid. I also can't sleep very well at night. I find it difficult even to eat." Maharaj put his hand on my head and said, "Don't feel afraid, my daughter. You will be all right. The Master and Holy Mother are always with you. Do one thing. Whatever you eat, first offer it to the Master and Mother. When you go to sleep at night, tell Mother, 'Mother, please come and sleep near me.' Suffering increases our strength of mind." His words became my only support. By acting upon his words, I gained much strength. In order to come and see me, Maharaj had to cross the river Ganga and also walk some distance in the hot sun. My uneasiness and discomfort were alleviated to a great extent by seeing him and hearing his words. The day after my operation, I suddenly found Coca Maharaj standing before me. My hands and feet had been tied down to prevent me from moving. Maharaj had brought some prasad and he put it in my mouth. I noticed that his eyes were wet with tears. He said, "I pray to the Master every day for you. You will get well again. Seeing you in this condition makes me sad. After I was released from the hospital, Koka Maharaj came to see me at my home. He was then going to Calcutta with some monks, but got down at the Dum Dum station. He didn't even know my address. I had told him only that I lived near the Dum Dum station. On reaching my home, he said to me, "I felt a great desire to know how you were doing after returning from the hospital, and that is why I got down midway. I located the Dum Dum post office and there inquired whether someone who lived nearby had just returned from the hospital. That is how I located your home." Before returning to my village, I got my 10-year-old daughter, Uma, admitted to the Nivedita's girls' school. Koka Maharaj had great love for Uma and would occasionally go to the Nivedita girls' school to meet her. When Uma was terminally ill, I had to go to Calcutta. At that time, I wanted to go to Baler Mott to meet Koka Maharaj, but I wasn't sure he was there, so I didn't make a trip. Afterwards, when Maharaj came to know of this, he said to me, "I would certainly have gone to see Uma if I had only known about her illness. If you had written about it to me and given the letter to someone at Baler Mott, it would have been forwarded to me." When Koka Maharaj visited Patna for the last time, I went to him every afternoon to share my sorrow. I derived great solace from that. I wouldn't go anywhere else. He was then staying very near our house. When he went out for his morning and evening walk, he would sometimes drop in and see me. He had great affection for me. I never felt shy or diffident in his presence. I was as free with him as I would be with a child. Okay. The next section is Vijay Gopal. I stayed with Koka Maharaj for many days in places like Bhubaneswar, Varanasi, and Puri. I suffer from chronic dyspepsia. Koka Maharaj would regularly inquire about my health. He cherished great affection for me and would try to make sure that I did not suffer physically or mentally. Regarding spiritual practices, he would say, "The mind can be calm and pure just by thinking of the Master. But nowadays, nobody calls on him sincerely. How then can the mind become calm?" Many times I have seen him sitting on his bed and meditating in the small hours of the morning. I wasn't afraid of him in the least, but I would feel scared of Raja Maharaj and Mahapurush Maharaj. He would always live in a way that wouldn't cause the slightest inconvenience to anybody. As for his own inconvenience, he wouldn't let anybody know about that. He was extremely simple in his habits. Once, when he was suffering from dysentery in Varanasi, he said, "If I notify the monks of the Sevashrama, they will immediately send somebody to serve me and also make proper arrangements for my medical treatment. But since they already have so much to do, I don't want to bother them." Once telling me about Kusum, he said, "If one has such faith and devotion, God becomes one's very own." And the note is, Kusum was a lady devotee who received initiation from Koka Maharaj in Ranchi. The day she died, Mr. Mukherjee and his wife, who were her neighbors and were disciples of Holy Mother, dreamt that Koka Maharaj, holding Kusum's hand, was taking her somewhere. When Koka Maharaj was asked about this, he said that he couldn't explain the dream and would let us know if the Master told him of its significance. Afterwards, Koka Maharaj became ill while staying in Varanasi. One day, when he was thinking while lying in bed, "Where does one go after death? Kusum died a few days ago. Where has she gone?" While thinking thus, he became drowsy. He then saw that a small girl was fanning him. The girl was Kusum. Koka Maharaj talked with her for some time. From this he came to know that the Master himself had assumed Koka Maharaj's form and had taken Kusum with him when she died. One day, Swami Raghavananda asked Koka Maharaj, Swamiji or Trilanga Swami, who is greater? In reply, Koka Maharaj said, Trilanga Swami is the greatest among men, but Swamiji is Shiva himself. We have heard that if someone talked ill of Swamiji in the Master's presence, the Master would say, Shiva has been talked ill of here. Sprinkle Ganga water and purify the place. Once while I was fanning Koka Maharaj, I thought, where will the disciples of the Master go after death? Immediately, Koka Maharaj turned toward me and said, after this there will be only bliss. We will be in a blissful realm where there is nothing but bliss. Once he told me, those who renounce lust and gold and practice spiritual discipline with the Master as their ideal won't have to be born again. Okay. How long is this? The next section is 20, Charubala Guha. Koka Maharaj appeared to me in a dream in the year 1919. I was then staying in Dhaka. One day, I fell asleep after taking my noon meal. I dreamt that a saint was giving me spiritual initiation. I hadn't seen him before, nor was I familiar with the process of initiation. All I know is that I felt very peaceful after seeing that saintly person in my dream. After I woke up, I felt a great eagerness to meet him. Something told me that I would find him in the Ramakrishna ashrama. I wanted to go to the ashrama immediately, but I couldn't go alone, and there was no one to accompany me at that time. It was a Tuesday. As on every Saturday and Tuesday, many lady devotees of Sri Ramakrishna met at a nearby locality to read and discuss the Master's life and teachings. Since I hadn't been able to go to the ashrama, I went to this meeting. There I learned that a monk from Belur Math was going to visit Dhaka on Saturday. I attended the meeting on Saturday and learned that Swami Subodhananda had arrived at the Dhaka ashrama and that he was staying in the Farasganj locality in a building called Gaurabas. Many ladies from our group had gone to Gaurabas to receive spiritual initiation from him. I felt like going there too, but since I hadn't informed anybody at home about this, and it was approaching evening, I had to drop the idea. I felt miserable. A devotee whom we used to call Priyabala's mother informed me that Koka Maharaj might visit her home on the following Tuesday. I returned home. On Monday, I went to Priyabala's home to confirm that Koka Maharaj would indeed be coming there the next day, and was told that there had been no change in the plan. The next day, I prepared some sweets for Maharaj and arrived at Priyabala's home at about 3 p.m. Priyabala's mother informed me that Koka Maharaj was taking rest and asked me to keep the sweets in the shrine and sit there and wait for him. I did so. After a while, I saw Koka Maharaj standing on the veranda. I immediately recognized him as the saint who had initiated me in my dream. Maharaj came and sat in his room after washing his hands and face. I entered his room and sat in a corner. Some other ladies were also sitting there. Upon seeing me, Maharaj asked Priyabala, "Who is this lady?" Priyabala informed him that I lived nearby and was a regular member of their meetings. On hearing this, Maharaj looked at me for some time. Then he stood up and said, "Let us go to the room in which you hold your meetings." Everybody, including me, then made pranams to him by touching his feet. Maharaj then went and sat in the meeting room. After we had garlanded him, a book was read that described Koka Maharaj's first meeting with the Master, and all that the Master had said to him on that occasion. I noticed that Maharaj was smiling while all this was being read. After this, we recited a Sanskrit hymn. Maharaj then sat for his meal. He was served all the items which we women devotees had prepared for him. When he ate the sweet I had prepared, he asked, Who has prepared this? Priyabala told him I had prepared it. Maharaj then asked me the process of preparing it, and I explained it to him in detail. In the evening, Maharaj returned to Gaurabas, and we all went to our homes. April 1923, after having my bath in the morning, I went to the ashrama at about 10 a.m. with all the items required for receiving initiation. Arriving at the ashrama, I saw that Maharaj was walking on the veranda. When he saw me carrying all those items, he told a brahmachari to keep everything in the shrine. After some time, Maharaj entered the shrine and also asked me to come sit there on a mat on the floor. My feelings at that time can't be described in words. Maharaj then graciously initiated me. I felt blessed. I had brought with me a handkerchief for Maharaj. I gave it to him, and he came out of the shrine holding it in his hand. He went to his room, and I followed him. There I heard him telling a monk, I have initiated so many people, but never before have I felt so satisfied. At this the monk said, That is not surprising, Maharaj. She is Haran Babu's sister. That's Harendra Kumar Nag, a disciple of the Holy Mother. Koka Maharaj then said to me, After taking initiation, one should partake of the prasad at the ashrama, so take your meal here today. 23rd May 1926. I was then at my brother's residence in Calcutta. It was evening. When I came out of the shrine after performing the Master's Arati, my sister-in-law told me that Koka Maharaj had come and was seated in Pranesh Babu's room. I was overjoyed to hear this and immediately went and made pranams to him. He blessed me by putting his hand on my head and said, How are you keeping? When I arrived, you were performing Arati. That is why I came and sat here and was waiting for you to finish. If I had gone away without seeing you, you and I both would have felt bad. Pranesh Babu then said to me, See how fortunate you are. After performing the Arati of the Master, you have also been able to make pranams to your Guru. Then I began to fan Maharaj. After a while, my brother, Harendra Kumar, arrived. Maharaj then took some refreshments. After he had finished, Harendra said to him, All that you have eaten was prepared by Charu. It's the author. That is very good, Maharaj said. See that she is always engaged in some kind of work and is never idle. After some time, Maharaj departed for Advaita Ashrama. 20 November 1926. Koka Maharaj came to our house in the evening. I asked him, Maharaj, where were you when the Master passed away? I was here in Calcutta, he said. Afterwards, I went on a pilgrimage with Rakhal Maharaj. Such was the condition of my mind then that I didn't care whether I lived or died. We went all the way to Kashi on foot. Whenever we felt tired, we would lie down under a tree. In Vrindavan, we went to see Vijay Krishna Goswami. He was very glad to see us and fed us nicely. He said to Rakhal Maharaj, The Master loved you very much. You all are the Master's children, and I am blessed to see you. April 1927. I had gone to have a bath in the Ganga with Pranesh Babu. Koka Maharaj was traveling in a steamer on the Ganga, and he saw us. He disembarked at Ahiritola Ghat and came where we were standing. He said to Pranesh Babu, I am taking Charu with me to Bellarmont. We both then boarded the steamer for Bellarmont. On the way, I asked him, Maharaj, why does the mind become restless while doing japa and meditation? Maharaj didn't give a direct answer. He said, if the mind becomes restless, chant some hymns in praise of God, or read books like the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. The mind will become steady by continued practice of meditation. I asked, how does the mind become concentrated on God? Renouncing everything, call on God. Only then will your mind be concentrated on him, he said. After reaching Belar Mat, Maharaj told me to go to the shrine, and he went to his room. After a while, he called me, gave me some prasad, and sent me to take my noon meal. In the afternoon, he called me to his room, and giving me one of his dhotis and shoes, said, I have visited many places of pilgrimage wearing these shoes. Please keep them. So I think that's probably a good place to stop. Does anybody have any comments? Well,
good reading.
yeah, it's beautiful. So then the upcoming events so we'll have another reading from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna on Saturday at 5 p.m. And on Sunday, January 29th, Swami Arupeshananda will give the talk, The Liberation Game. And as far as the schedule for next month, it looks like Swami Sarvadevananda will be here the first weekend. So please make your appointments. Okay, let's end with a chant. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.